All right, here we are. We are doing the check really quick, sound check. I need to know if this mic is working and if you can see me well. Please leave something in the comments because I have this fear now of going live and having it be static and terrible. So again, if you can hear me, let me know. Matt says sounds great, and that's awesome. And so I first have to start this out by welcoming everyone to the weekly live stream Wednesday. And I want to shout out Matt Sayle for again showing up to help my kids go to college with a $25 super chat. It's great to have Matt back and his wallet. No, Matt, I'm just kidding. It is really great to have you back, though, with your wallet or without. I have missed you here, and I'm excited to talk with you and answer some questions about what is going on. I have a whole list of things that I want to talk about today, so I'm super excited to be live. Sometimes I show up and I'm like, I'm halfway awake and I barely drank my coffee. But today I have had already one cup. That's actually my second cup, and I'm super fired up to get to work and to talk to everybody. Before we go down the road of my massive to-do list, I just want to check the chat and see who is here so I can welcome everybody. I've got Matt. I see Renat. I see Laura. I see Pete. How's it going? What's up, Pete? I see Cat Speak. That's Mike. I said, hey, what's going on? Oh, says our city in Scotland has been locked down again, and it all came from the pubs. You know what? That is happening here too, right here in my neighborhood. You see them every day going down there and having a party without a mask. They're out there dancing, and now everybody's sick again. So I guess at least it's not just us, but it's happening everywhere. Laura says, been trying to catch your live stream for weeks. Today is finally the day. Well, I look forward to answering, if I can, I guess, any questions that you have or just chatting with you. I will go through in the comments and just check in with everybody as I can. But again, as always, when I start talking, if you aren't that interested, at least take the time to put your progress wins in the chat so that they can be shared with everybody. I really want to hear what you guys are doing this week because it helps me stay motivated. All right. So the plan today is to, I don't know, is there a plan? Let's just jump into comments instead. First up, Matt says, I'm looking to purchase a portfolio I've had too much coffee. I'm looking to purchase an investment website. I'd like to start building a portfolio. I don't care for Flippa, and my budget isn't large enough for Empire Flippers. Any other legit marketplace? Well, I know in the comments, I think I already saw that somebody, I think it was Pete, suggested that you go and check out the Flipping Websites Facebook group, and that is a place to go, although it has gotten big enough now to the point where I would be a little concerned, and I would really want to vet heavily any site that I purchased peer-to-peer, one-on-one through that group, not because the people are in it are all bad, but because there are some spammers that slip through and have taken advantage of some people in there. So what I would do is if I was going to buy a site through them, I would actually DM the group moderators or administrators and ask them if they had any personal interactions with this individual and just do more to vet them as a seller before giving them my money, because I think the majority of the folks in there are good, but not everybody. And so if you go there, first thing I would do is lurk for a while. I would watch the posts and I would watch the type of sites that come through. And then I would also watch the people and what they have to say. Just to get a better idea of who is in there and who I might actually be trying to give my money to. Next up, I would also mention that the Flipping Websites Facebook group actually got purchased by another company. Richard Patey, I think, initially started it. And the Investors Club group is the sort of the overarching umbrella that runs the Flipping Websites Facebook group. So one of the things that you could do instead is go and take a look at Investors Club. And what they do is they work on matching up buyers and sellers, and they maintain a list of people who are really interested. And it's just another gateway between people who are trying to take advantage and the people who are trying to actually do things legit. I mean, I definitely send people over to Motion Invest. The problem is, and I think a lot of people say this, is that they think that Motion Invest buys really low and then tries to sell too high. I don't know. That's up to you to decide if you think that they're selling low or high in their business. That's just another place to check out. Another gal that I've come across recently who has started doing brokerage services is a gal named Chelsea Clark. And I'm actually excited because I'm going to get to talk to her for the podcast in a couple of weeks, assuming that our schedules line up just right. But she is also brokering sites, and her brand is her paper route. Basically, the idea is not like newspapers, but the idea of like paper stacks. So putting together your route, like your way to paper, I think it's kind of cool. And it's also cool that there are women out there doing it. Also, I would suggest that if you're thinking about website investment, that you start following Richard Patey and at least go and check out his newsletter. It's a Substack newsletter like mine, and it's investing.substack.com. And he does curation emails every week. Now there's the paid version and there's the free version, and the free version of his newsletter is very valuable because he's always doing podcasts and connecting people up who are in the space. But his paid version of his newsletter, he does curate stuff that is out there for sale, and that can be a great way to get an idea of what is out there and where it is located, and looking at the analysis on whether or not is good or bad. All right, so I wanted to make sure that I answered Matt's question because Matt's awesome. Again, hey, Renat, I think I already said hi. I'm just going through to see if I missed anybody. We're talking about Facebook groups. And if you guys know of any other Facebook groups that are legit doing brokerage or people are listing their sites, that's feel free to put it in the comments. Hey, Jay, how's it going? How was your week? What did you do? What did you work on? Love to hear it. Let's see. Pete says about flipping websites, he says, do your due diligence, have to watch for scams like fake screenshots. And if you are going to use the flipping websites Facebook group, and frankly, doing any peer-to-peer deals, I really recommend that you just pay the money and use an escrow service. People say, oh, I don't want to pay the $100 for a site that I'm, buying for just a couple grand. It seems like a lot of money, but it's a lot of money when that money's gone and you have no website. D. Levon says, hey, and I say, hey, what's up? Thanks for dropping in. Let us know what you're working on. Ines says, hey, how are you? And I personally have had too much caffeine, and I'm going to consume more of it right now. Christopher says, hey, and I say, hey, what's up? He says, I drink it all. Oh, what do you think about tech niche websites? Is it still worth it to write about technology? Well, not everybody is going to agree with me on this, and I will just disclose right now that I actually have a tech website, and I make money from it, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity out there in tech. I think it is competitive, but the upside of it is that there are continually new keywords coming out to target, and people have to be constantly on board with those because technology is moving at the speed of light, and that means that the opportunities are also there as well because every time there's a new trend coming out, there's more stuff to write about. New games, new consoles, new phones, new computers, new ways of doing things. So my opinion is yes. I mean, yes, it's competitive. If I wanted to go after Apple as my keyword, then that would be silly. But there's a lot of niches out there, I think, that are less competitive. I just think you have to work harder to find your footing. I definitely know that there are a lot of tech websites out there, and they can be hard to sell just because a lot of professional portfolio holders, people who want to build portfolios, one, they may not know that much about the tech itself. And so running a website like that can be really hard because you have to buy writers or you have to learn the tech itself to be able to speak coherently about it. And there's a lot of them out there for sale. So people are like, any website, just not tech. But if you want to build a website that earns, I mean, that's definitely going to be possible. What else is out there? Because of all the haggis eating at the pubs, that's why COVID is going on. Oh, hey, there's Richard. Hey, Richard, I have called, I don't know if you jumped on, but I did call out your newsletter because I think it is awesome. And by the way, Richard recently had Ace Chapman on his podcast on the newsletter, and I geeked out over it. I think I posted about it on YouTube, but I just thought that was a really cool interview. But I also wanted to say, Richard, if you're still here, that your interview with that guy, gosh, what's his name? That he does he's like the Flippa like guru, right? He has bought like hundreds of websites through Flippa and then flipped them and made a ton of money. And you'll have to remind me of his name. I'm sorry, but that was also a really great interview, both parts of it, part one and the premium part two. Just so much value there. I just am not finding stuff like that basically anywhere else. And so thank you very much for contributing so much to our space. Matt says he used to use Digital Point way back in the day, and it looks pretty dead. Here is a progress report. Laura says, I started a Dutch website about 3 months ago, got about 40,000 words up, but AdSense keeps sending me into an auto reply about being closed because of COVID, so I haven't earned anything yet. I would say just keep trying to get content out there and finding alternate ways to get your site monetized. In the meantime, AdSense is going to be back eventually, but that's not the first time I've heard about that, people not being able to get approved. Sushi says, hey, and I say, hey, what's up? Thanks for dropping in. Tell me, what are you working on? What is going on? Jay says, I'm more focused on YouTube. Want to get that 100,000 medal. Me too. But it's a lot of Fiverr gigs and still big losses. Faith and patience are number one in this game. Hey, it's going to fail until it works. And that's true about relationships. That's true about business. That's true about education, all the rest. Like, you're going to fall until you fly. Like, that's just the way it is. And I've done a lot of falling, so I totally get it. But that's the only way to get there. And I love the attitude. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Talking about technology says the way these kids are glued to it, I'm going to say yes. And I agree. I don't think it's easy, but I think it's possible. The interview with Ace was great. I don't have premium, but I am a fan. Well, I can just say that the part two of these interviews that Richard has been putting out are very high value. And I can't say enough good things about them. And no, he didn't pay me to say that. Nobody has paid me to say that. I actually listen to them and I actually like them. Matt says, sorry, lost the internet. Terrible lately due to some heavy road construction. Gosh, you'll have to go back, I guess, and listen and watch it again because it's still there. And then you'll see if you missed anything. Shake says, hey, I said, hey, what's going on? So I would love to know how your experience is going. And I don't want to overshare, but if you want to talk about your progress, I'd love to hear about how things are going. There is Jazzy. How's it going? I want to hear more about what you are working on. I have been really excited to talk to you about all of your new things. And if you are comfortable sharing with us what it is you're working on, I just really want a chance to pat you on the back for putting yourself out there because I'm super excited about it. Matt says, looking back, the road to success is more fun once you made it. Yeah. When you're fighting, when you're in the middle of it, it's hard. Jay says, that's why I'm here in your stream, because he said, yeah, I try really hard. All right. So while you guys are working on your wins, I want to go through a bit of this. The first thing on the top of my list is to thank everybody who came over from this channel to Pubtelligence last week. It was one of those things that I was really nervous about, and I guess I shouldn't have been nervous about it, but I was. And turns out in the middle of it, there was a technical issue and Leon got booted out of it. And it sort of just left me and Sarah there. And Sarah was like frantically trying to get Leon back. And so basically what was a formal presentation turned into a live stream. And luckily, and thank you to everyone here, I can thank you all for participating in that, because it is this experience right here and being able to talk with you all one-on-one that enabled me to handle that really well. I was definitely sweating. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely sweating through it, but I just had that experience and being able to handle sort of being live and being put on the spot. And so I wanted to thank you so very much. The folks that I can remember who were being there, Emil was there, Chris was there, Darren was there, so many people were there, and you just basically carried us through that. So I want to thank you. Next up, I wanted to let you know that part 5, the last part, the final installment of the Empire Flippers newsletter experience is out there. The Substack link to the whole newsletter is in the description below. And eventually, when I get around to it this week, I'll post as the community post here on YouTube. But I just want to say it's out there, and I've got the video to go with it recorded. I've recorded it 3 times, I think, because I just didn't like it. And I'm going to put it together and hopefully push it out tomorrow or the next day. On August 19th, I've got .fix. Fix is going to come onto the live stream on the 19th. And we're just going to do this together because it's fun. And so if you like Fix and you haven't checked out, you didn't know that we were going to do that, or if you haven't checked out his channel, you will like him. He likes to live stream and talk about what he is working on. So I definitely recommend that you check him out. And then also you put it on your calendar to come back to live stream Wednesday in 2 weeks, because he will be here with me so we can hang out. Let's see. Laura says, I wonder if you have experience with Google Discover. I haven't been using Google Discover at all. And I wonder if there was anyone else in the chat who's using Google Discover who could tell us about their experience. I would love to know more about that. Matt says he's enjoying a whiskey called High West in honor of this live stream. That is awesome. And I would really love to know how things are going out there in Georgia. It's Georgia, right? And just as far as what's going on with your websites, because I'm super curious to hear about, has traffic changed? And now as the pandemic is changing and things are going less lockdown and people are back at work, or maybe more lockdown in the future, how are things going on in your business, Matt? I would love to know. I am so behind in the chat. I love that the chat is busy today because it gives me a lot to talk about. Web Money School says, hey, what's up? Thanks for dropping in. Oh, talking about Google Discover. Didn't get any good answers. I saw it in Webmaster Tools and is intrigued. Hey, here is a progress update. D. Levon says he posted 30 posts in July. That is a big high five. That is a pat on the back worthy, which is awesome. Hope to do 30 more this month. I got to tell you, that is an amazing thing to be able to get that up there and to get that done. And hopefully in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, or even next year, we'll be able to see the fruits of all of that work. Let's see. This looks so clean and crispy. What are the setting in Stream you're using? Is it an external camera? This is an external camera. It is the $50 Logitech. I'm looking up here, squinting at it. C615. If it is clear and crisp, it is through no fault of my own. I'm using the free version of StreamYard, and I'm not even directly plugged in to my internet. I'm streaming on Wi-Fi. So if it looks good, maybe better than normal, it's because Wi-Fi seems to be working better than normal. And I have literally done nothing to make that happen. I wish it was something that I was doing on purpose, but honestly, it's not. Pete says, couldn't join Poptelligence because it requested a code. I don't know what's up with that. Well, thank you for trying. I appreciate you. Shake says, successfully switched the theme and enabled Ezoic ads. July revenue was about 300 from my niche site. The site has about 30,000 monthly visits, but the products in my niche are low cost. Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you there with targeting keywords that the value of them is very low, and then picking out products where they're just the affiliate commission on them is very low because the products are very cheap. Yeah, you can see why people start migrating towards high ticket items very, very quickly after turning your wheels. Is that the right one? Spinning your wheels, trying to make money off of low ticket items. Steve says, hey, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Steve, how's it going? He's been in limbo lately as another YouTube. Reckons my site may be in YMYL, but that's your money, your life. But I don't know whether to dump or persevere. It's been a year and very little traffic, but few posts. So how many posts do you have? I'm curious about that. If you don't have a lot of posts on the site, it could be that you just haven't been able to hit a keyword that you can get traffic from. I mean, there's so many things in it. You could say, oh, well, my site doesn't have traffic for a year yet. I want to know, what keywords are you targeting? How many posts do you have? Are there any links at all? I mean, there's more to it than that. Some people pick out a niche and a topic and a keyword that ranks very quickly. And sometimes people see that hockey stick moment at month 18. I had that experience with not my first site, but the first site that was really successful. I worked on it for 9 months and nothing happened. And so I put it down because I felt defeated. And then I picked it up 6 months after that and found that I'd had that hockey stick moment growth and I wasn't even paying attention. And I kicked myself for not publishing more content, because if I had kept working on it, it would be way farther ahead than it was. Edward says he posted his first YouTube video yesterday. Yay! That's really cool. I'm super excited for you. Jumping into YouTube is kind of scary and hard, and it's, you're jumping into commit for the long haul to really make it go, but that is really exciting, and I'm really excited to hear about that. Josh said that he made, hey, Josh, how's it going? Thanks for dropping on. He made a $90 commission on a 2-month-old site. Well, I'm jealous. I'm excited for you and jealous because that happens very seldom. And you must be doing something very right, my friend. That's awesome. Congratulations. I am lost. Let's see. Still in content craze mode. Yeah, well, it seems to be working for you. Brittany says that she started her architecture YouTube channel, and I'm like, yes! I'm so excited about that. It makes me so happy. Congratulations. I've been talking to Brittany for a long time. And I'm just so excited to see people jumping in after, not that I did this. I didn't do this. She did all this. She didn't tell me she was doing it. She just did it one day and then came to me and said, look what I did. And I just am super excited. And I love watching her videos. And I was I can say that I was literally one of the first subscribers to your channel. And when it goes big, I'll be like, I was there from the beginning. Laura says, we're talking about Google Discover. She says, I don't use it. Google just put my articles there. Didn't submit them. No idea how they decided to do that. Me either. Chris, Niche Safari Chris says, hey, everyone. I say, hey, Chris, what is up? How is it going? My list of things to talk about today is that long. And so far, I'm like up here because I haven't gotten anywhere yet. And actually, if that's the case, I'm going to just also mention briefly, I was going to give you some progress reports on my newsletter. I officially have 50 subs. And I know that doesn't sound like very much, but for me, having had a ton of anxiety about starting a newsletter and starting to collect emails, that was like, yes, I feel really good about that. Like really good about that. Jay says, cheers. I know he deserves it. I think that's great. Parveen says, I have a blog, DA55 in a general niche, how to sell backlinks for that site. Well, there are lots of places. That's not my specialty, but there are lots of pages on Facebook that you can follow and groups that you can go on Facebook where people like to do that type of backlink exchange. And I actually kind of followed them for a while when I was looking at trying to monetize one of my other websites that I was thinking, that's never really going to go anywhere. I can't really monetize it with ads. Maybe I could sell backlinks, but it just, there was so much, I don't want to say spam, but there was just so much traffic in there and low. I don't even know. I'm over here trying to figure out. Well, Web Money School, he just posted, wow, 50 subs. Wow, I'm feeling awesome. Every one more sub I get, congrats. And on accident, I somehow deleted that comment over there. And I'm sorry, but I really want to say thank you, Web Money School. And it's not your fault that I can't operate my YouTube. There's a lot more going on than usual today. For some reason, there are lots of people around. And you laugh and you say it's only 26 people, but when it's just little old me and I'm my professional teleprompter here. So anyway, back to Parveen. That's where I would suggest that you go, is try out those groups on Facebook, and then it will put you in touch with folks who are looking to buy those types of links based upon the DA of your site. I haven't been doing it, but I have definitely seen it. Edwin says his goal this month is to get more written blog posts on my niche and revive my own personal blog as well. That is awesome. And I cannot wait to hear your updates, how that goes, and just your progress. That is really awesome. Oh, on my podcast, also while I'm out there, I haven't talked about it much lately, but I crossed 500 downloads. So about June, July, the end of May, June, July. So about 3 months, we've got 500 downloads. And I think a lot of the people who are listening to the podcast are here on the stream right now. And I want to thank you. 500 downloads doesn't seem like a lot, but like I said, when you're just getting started, 500 downloads is like a lot. It's a lot. Hey, Denise, how is it going? Thank you for jumping on. Sushi says, I bought a YouTube channel from Empire Flippers in March. That's actually, I think, something that people don't often think about is growing YouTube channels and monetizing them and selling them. And I think if more people knew about that, I think more people would try and do that. In general, I think a lot of the skills that people use to build websites translate to YouTube, the ideas behind and theories behind keyword research and creating content on the rest. And so I think that people should consider YouTube as a digital asset to grow and sell, because you can get it monetized and then you can continue to earn off of that as long as those videos continue to rank. And there's a high chance that they will. And I just think that other people should consider that as as a business. So I think that's great. He says, so far, it's a lot of work finding VA editors, writers, etc. It is, but once you have that team in place, it should be able to run without you having to pay too much attention to it. Matt says, it is hot in Georgia, and I bet that it is. I signed up with an ad company called Sortable, and the experience was awful. All right, so folks, Sortable, Matt had a bad experience with them, and just keep an eye out on that. And I feel like we talked a little bit about that the last time you were here, and you said that you were going to test it out, and now we know that it was a bad experience. He said that he saw a major dip in revenue when the pandemic first started, but it's recovered. I'm about a $3 RPM. We're at 450,000 page views for the month so far. You know, I would love to know more about why Sortable was bad, and just so we can know more about it and just share it in the community so that that information could be passed on. Shajit says he's using Generate Press theme for his blog. Just made a header with Elementor or nothing else. Any theme you recommend? You know, I use themes that are as light as possible. Let's see. There's Arthur Chicago Design. That's Bob. How's it going, Bob? Thanks for checking in. He says he's got almost 600 subscribers on his YouTube channel, Panama Tropic. What is your channel about? Bob, I would love to know more about that. Back to Shajit's question. I recommend really light themes. So I personally use Astra. I use Generate Press. And I went through a big theme update recently and basically moved all of my sites to those two themes because I wanted to test them both out. I was already using the free version of Generate Press, but I moved two more of my sites over to that. And then I moved my case study site over to Astra because I wanted to try it out. Matt says, my typing is terrible. Hey, maybe it's too much whiskey or maybe it's not enough. I don't know. Web Money School says he posted 19 YouTube videos targeting KGRs in the last 2 months and live streams. I should feel great. And I do. Any homework you would give me? What I would say is that I need you to get on a schedule. So not just posting 19 videos, but say, okay, I want to post them consistently. So if you're making a lot of videos, that scheduling them out so that maybe you don't have 5 videos in a week or 10 videos in a week, but getting it so that maybe you have videos posted for the next 3 months so that if something happens and you want to focus on other things, your videos are continuing to roll out and continue to grow your channel and continuing to engage with your audience. So if you could get that done, then it would also free you up time to work on other of your, make money online projects. Back to Steve, he says he was talking about his website that hasn't made a lot of traction and progress in the first year. He says he's still under 20 articles due to motivation. And, it's hard to get motivation when there is no traffic and you have no wins using Alphabet Soup and Longtail Research for article titles ideas. I'm using Alphabet Soup and Longtail Research for article ideas too. Honestly, I just think that your site needs more content. It just does, especially when you're in the beginning and you're still figuring out things like building links and all the rest. I just really think, other people can jump in and let me know what they think, but I just think you need more content. And that is when it's strange being humans. When we're here online, right, we have to work really hard for a really long time without getting any sort of reward or benefit. And that's against really what makes us tick and what makes us succeed. We need some sort of positive feedback to keep going. And when all you receive is pain in response to your efforts, it makes it harder to keep going. And entrepreneurs, I think, are really a special breed. And I put everybody who's in this stream in that bucket. You have to work past pain as being your response, as being your gift, as being your present and your reward for your hard work for a long time until you get to that place where you start to get positive reinforcement as the result. That's just what makes us special, I guess. Brittany says, nice. He says, about the channel, it says it's about tropical stuff. Well, that's cool. I think it's great. He said, Sortable. Okay, back to Sortable, which I'm excited to hear more about. He said that it dropped his RPM about 80 cents. Well, that's obnoxious. And even if your RPM overall is low, 80 cents when you're talking about 450,000 visitors a month, that's a significant chunk of money. I said it's an absolute ripoff and killed my revenue for an entire week. They didn't have any answers and let me break my contract. Yeah, they should have, because that's just terrible. He said he put AdSense back on and the revenue came right away. How many videos per week is one enough? I would say yes. There used to be this thought that if you put up too many videos that you would be cannibalizing your search traffic. I think if a lot of your content is consumed by subscribers and not from search, you may worry about man, a lot of the comments today are being picked up by YouTube as potentially being spam. That's why I keep getting distracted and going over there, but they're not spam. And so I don't know what is different about the chat today, but everything is fine. So sorry if I keep getting distracted. No, there was this thing that maybe YouTube wouldn't push your videos out. They would only push one video at a time. But from what I'm reading, it says that that's not the case. The only thing that would be trouble is if you put out too many videos a week and your subscribers don't have a chance to get to them, they may miss them and you might miss out on watch time or views. But if a lot of your content isn't being consumed by your subscribers, then I think that as many videos as you can push out that are high quality, that are well researched and targeted to actually do really well, I think you should do that. I think if one video is what you can do, then yes, one video is good enough. And if you can do more, then do more. That's what I would say. Matt says, what is alphabet soup? Never heard of that before. It's a really complicated process. No, what it is you go to the search bar, either on YouTube or on Google or any other platform that does suggested, and then you will start with a seed keyword. So for example, if your seed keyword was how to, and you wanted to see what came up with how to, you would in the search bar, start Googling how to, but not hit enter, and just see what Google suggests. And the theory is that you start with how to and then type in A, and you'll see all the keywords that come from that, and then B, and then C, and then so on. And so you would get keywords that maybe you wouldn't come up with otherwise. And of course, the assumption is that if Google suggests it in the search bar, that there must be some search traffic for it, even though they may not show up in keyword research tools. And so what people often do is for the alphabet soup method is just go to the search bar and start with a search term in their niche, like cars, like cars A or cars B or cars C, and then just go through and see what keywords are suggested by Google as an idea for to find keywords that you wouldn't have discovered anywhere else. There are, I don't want to call them gurus because I'm tired of the word guru, but there's a couple of folks in this space who are teaching various keyword research methods, and the alphabet soup method is one of those methods. Brittany says she has a 6-month-old site with 17 articles, was getting 1 or 2 or 0 views per month. Just the last month, I jumped up 75%. That is so cool. So cool. All right. So one of the things I want to talk about is this giveaway that I'm going to be doing. And I know that you may have seen something like this going around on some of the other channels, but I think that these folks are doing a great job sort of building brand awareness. And so I was approached by Content Refined, and that is a group that is associated with John Gilliam. And if you know this channel, if you've been around, I've interviewed John Gilliam at least twice in the last year. He's one of the principals in Motion Invest and in the website investing and building and growing and selling space. And one of his businesses, and he has several of them, is Content Refined. And so they sell content packages. They sell, will post for you, and will also take a look at the content that you've created and make it better. Obviously, that is for money, so it's not a free service. But they approached me a couple weeks ago and they said, hey, we want to try to do a collab with your channel. And you know me, like I'm not going to talk up a service that I haven't used and I haven't liked. And so what we have decided to do is they took 2 of my URLs from one of my money sites, and it's just money site. It's a site that I make money from, and one of my ad sites, and they say, hey, give us a chance to show us what we can do on those 2 URLs. You don't have to pay, and you also don't have to sell it to your audience. So there's no affiliate links here. I'm not telling anybody to go there. And I don't even have results yet, because what they did is they took those links and then basically did their Content Refined, like content upgrade deal. So they went and did keyword research on that article and then gave me a new draft of it to replace from the old. And then we are just going to let it sit for a couple of weeks and see what happens. And so then I could report back on, one, was it a good experience? Was the service something worthwhile? And then 2, did it actually have any positive benefit? Because frankly, if there's no point in revising and improving articles if it's not going to either equal more money or more traffic or something. So I don't have results as far as how did the result play out. But how this went is I just gave them the URL. They took it, told me that they would be back in a couple of days with my new article. And that's what happened. They offered to go to my website and do all of the formatting and putting it all together themselves. But I just did it because I could do it right away. But it was really, really absurdly easy and fast. And I don't know if that's the experience that everybody has or if that's the experience they gave me because they wanted me to be able to come back to this channel and talk about it. But it's contentrefined.com. And I went there today to learn more about it. And I was looking at their keyword packages because honestly, keyword research and writing right now is one of the big challenges that I'm having. And I wanted to get an idea of what the price was per word. And so they have packages. And when you get there, you're like, this is several $100s. Like this is not a cheap investment, but I was looking at the per word amount and it was between 9 and 10 cents a word, which sounds like a lot when you're used to paying a penny or 2 pennies or 3 pennies per word. But what they are promising also is to do the keyword research for you, write the content, edit it, do the SEO, and then actually go and publish it on your site. So if you're somebody who buys, 20,000 words and they just do everything beginning to end, that actually kind of works out as far as the price when you think about what your time is worth, because then you could go and use that time for other things. But as far as the giveaway goes, and I think that Jared Krause is doing this on his channel, and there may be some other folks in our space who are doing it, but they're going to give away 2 free upgrades. I'm looking because I want to make sure. So they're going to give 2 people from this community the same experience they gave me. So you'll give them the URL and then they will do the research and then give you basically an upgraded article for free. And what I wanted to ask everybody is what should the criteria be for who should get that upgrade? And I would love to have your suggestions in the comments. And if you're watching this after the fact, what do you think that we should do in order to award these giveaways? Like I said, I don't know if it's a good idea. I had a good experience in getting my content, but as far as what will happen as the result, I'm still waiting and watching. So if you're watching this live, go to the, I can't even find it. Go to the chat. I don't even know where the chat box is. And tell me what you think would be good criteria for this. And if not, if you're catching this later, go down in the description and let me know what you think. And I'm really behind on the chat, like super behind. So let's take a look. Matt says, it took him 10 years to make any money. It's lonely, embarrassing, and exhausting. The secret to success is to never give up. Thank you for that, Matt, because honestly, there's a lot of times, especially lately, when I sort of need words like that. And I'm putting my hand over my heart because it's true. Like it can be really lonely and embarrassing when you're out there, putting yourself out there, and then you don't get any wins. Like you want to have wins to share and be able to tell people, but all you really have is like, well, I have 50 subscribers and I don't make any money, but I'm fortunate enough now to be 2 years in and I don't have to, I'm not there, but I'm not yet either to a place where I'd love to go around and be able to really be proud of what I've done. Brittany's talking about her traffic still growing, and this is back to Steve, who was talking about his site. It's just sometimes it takes a long time for a site to get going. Yeah, Matt, what did keep you motivated? Because 10 years, like that's a lot of time to stick with something that may or may not work. Chris says that he struggled. He's looking back at Chris. Yep. I just need to get faster and get more content up. Questions is who's in a competitive niche? Wow, I am like super far behind. Holy cow. Webb says he thinks, talking about the spam in the chat, it says could be that YouTube picks up that spam. Maybe that could be it. He refused to accept defeat. That is like really the secret sauce right there, is just to be too stubborn to quit. Like, absolutely. I'm doing my best. WP Illegal says, hey, what's up? And I say, hey, what's up? Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for checking in. As always, let us know what you're working on and what you are doing. Matt says he started in 2010 and had his first real success in February of this year. So 5 to 6 month old and receives 2.5 million page views from, I feel like I should stop now. Oh God, Matt, congratulations. That is so cool. Shake says he's out. Watch the rest of the stream tomorrow. You're probably already gone because I'm so far behind, but thank you for dropping in as always. Answer the Public can help. I do like Answer the Public. It used to be totally free and you could use it for hours, and now they limit your free searches per day, but I still think it is really valuable, especially if keyword research is not your strength just yet. Looking to connect. Parveen says, what backlink? Well, backlinks matter to rank an article. This is going to be something that people disagree on. Some people will say no, some people say yes. My opinion is yes, it does matter, but it depends on how competitive the niche is, in my opinion. Yes, she deserves a good job. Checking in on Alex's Facebook mastermind group. I'm guessing that you're talking about WP Eagles mastermind. Jesse says, how are you driving traffic to get to 2.5? I have questions about this too. I have all of the questions, so many questions. Has it started thinking about creating a YouTube channel where you could buy gigs or services and act like secret shopper? I like that idea. I love that idea. I wish that you would, and then I would love to participate in it and watch it. He says from Facebook. Yes, and I think that people who say Facebook is dead as far as traffic goes just don't know how to use it that well. Google is getting smarter by the minute. Talking about links. Paid ads, still asking about how Matt is doing it. He says each category has its own page. I start there with ads, spend $500, and then grows organically. Yeah, basically you could probably sell courses now, Matt, on what it is that you know how to do. He's got highest page has 15,000 likes and gains 400 more with 0 paid ads. That's awesome. Let's see. Gains 400 more. So 400 likes a month. Let's see. Web Money School says, if you're struggling with writing, I would love to offer you my help. Well, I really appreciate that. But here's what I would say, Web Money School, is that I think you should take that time and double down on what it is that you were working on, because I would love to see you come back here to the chat and say, I had my first huge month, or, last month I had this and the next month I had this. Like, I would love to hear your wins. Like people coming back and telling me how well they are doing is motivation for me. And so if you want to help me, go out there in the world and work really hard and bring your successes back. And that is my fuel. And I want to hear that. Back to the giveaway. Sammy suggests random name picker can pick a winner. Maybe I should set up like a little, I don't want to say lead magnet, but an opt-in page where people could put their names in to be considered for that. Yep. So WP Eagles Mastermind. Oh, he did a raffle yesterday from everyone who did a super chat. Yeah, but I don't really want to make people pay anything for it. I feel like we should be able to give it away to someone. Although I think that's a pretty cool idea. I wouldn't have even thought about that. Matt says how he made it. He worked every single day, sat at the computer, drank my coffee, and did something. That is basically my strategy right now. I don't always get a lot of stuff done, but that is my strategy. Let's see. We're never going to let you off this live stream. You're stuck with us for the day. Well, you know what? So far on my to-do list, I'm only to here. So I'm going to be here for a while if I'm going to try and get through everything on my list. The next thing that is on here, I wanted to tell everybody that I quit TikTok. And not because that China is stealing my data and using it for nefarious purposes, but because I literally couldn't stop once I started looking at it. I initially started because I was thinking about doing TikTok as a way to drive traffic to things like either to my websites or to YouTube channel or whatever, because there's a lot of people out there like, oh, YouTube, but I got all these boosts from TikTok and I love strategies. But literally once I turned it on, it hits every single light in my brain that is addictive. And so I would get into it and then I couldn't stop. And what I would say is about TikTok, if you are thinking about ads like for Facebook or for YouTube or anywhere else, like the people on TikTok are masters of hooks, the things that they can do in 2 or 3 seconds that will make you do anything to watch the rest of it is amazing. So if you're thinking about, TikTok, whether or not it's valuable as a place to learn and pick up ideas, those people can convey more in 15 seconds than I probably can do in an hour. And they do it so well. And I just recognize that they do it so well that I can't stop. So I deleted TikTok and I'm going to try to read instead in that time. The next thing I wanted to talk about really briefly, was I wanted to ask the folks out there who were able to get through. So who in this group, if anybody, was able to get into the Just Start program from Ezoic? I've talked to about 4 or 5 people who said that they managed to get through. When the links went out, the links went live. I guess a lot of people got sent to a page where they had to have a code to get in to get access to it, and weren't able to get to it. And so there were a lot of grumpy people basically around the world who really wanted to try it, and it didn't work out. And so, one, I wanted to apologize to those folks because that wasn't what was supposed to happen. But I do want to know, for the folks who did get in, what has the experience been like? Like, what are the courses like? They make you do, I think, 3 courses to be able to get access to it. And if you don't know what the Just Start program is, it is for folks that have not very much traffic or any at all, but want to get access to the Ezoic platform. The reason I think this is a great idea is not so much for the ads, but for people to have access to big data analytics so that they can start seeing what pages are valuable and how much time people are spending on the various pages. They just give you so much more data than AdSense alone does. But I am definitely curious about folks that are in. I do know that, and I see some folks in there who said that I wanted to, but I wasn't able to. That they are planning, once this round goes through, of offering it again. And so again, if this is something you want to do, I would tell you to just keep creating content on your site and pay attention. And then when they plan to go live with this again, I'll do everything to let you guys know about it in advance so you can be ready to jump in on it. And my hope is that they will let in more people the next time. I see that Brittany says she's in. Pete says he's in. Brittany says she doesn't know if it will work because my second site is not AdSense approved, and they are not approving any sites right now because of COVID. Well, that's good to know. I'm really curious about just people's experience going into it and whether or not they find that it was worthwhile, because I don't really want to be promoting things on this channel that I haven't used myself and aren't valuable. And so if people are getting in and saying, this is a terrible idea, don't bother with it, then I would love to know. But if the experience is good, I also want to know, because again, that's important to me, to only be talking about things that are worthwhile for folks to do. Just checking really quick. All right. What else? Let's go to the comments, and I want to just check in there again because I am way behind and not doing a good job paying attention. Jesse says that he just noticed that Chris and Carl had big months in July. I watched both of the income reports. Mine is now flattened out due to seasonality. That is right. Chris's income report is out, and I'm excited to just say and just toot Chris's horn is that he had one of the biggest months ever. I think he had his first $3,000 a month, which means he has crossed the threshold of making $100 a day, which is a big deal in my opinion. And so I want to pat Chris on the back and just publicly call him out. If you want to know more about what he's doing and how he is doing, check out both of their YouTube channels and take a look at those. Matt says, I wish more people would support you with super chats. You have great content and do deserve to be supported. Well, Matt, you just are so great. And I honestly have a hard time asking for super chats, and I'm not very good at monetizing myself. I've honestly thought about, instead of asking for people to super chat, I've been thinking about asking people if they maybe making the newsletter a paid, like having a paid portion of it, so that if people wanted to support me that way, they could sign up to do like a monthly subscription and receive some premium content. The thing about super chats is that Google does take a cut of those, and I think the cut through the newsletter would be smaller. And I honestly don't know how much YouTube likes us talking about the cuts that they take, because I appreciate the support in super chats, because it does actually help me, believe it or not, create more content, and I reinvest that money into the business. But if people did want to support me financially, and it's sort of uncomfortable for me to even, I guess, talk about it, and I need to get over that, right? It's just something I need to do. But maybe the newsletter would be the place to do that, so that the percentage that got cut out would be lower, because I hate to ask people to super chat because Google takes so much of it, and it's almost like supporting Google rather than me. And so maybe that's something that I should brainstorm more about. Brittany says, and I forget what it was about. Oh yeah, TikTok. Yeah. I didn't know Carl's income report was out yet. And Jesse says he watched it today. It was good. Breakdown. And so they're talking about those. Let's see. I'm going ahead. Matt has said, have I thought about Patreon? Well, now I hadn't thought about it until now, but now now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm thinking about it. I will actually seriously think about it. And then if I do, I will let you know. Carl is reinvesting hard and hammering out the content. Carl is really gone all in on his mega site, and I totally respect him for it. And people come to me and they say, oh, do you think it's a good idea, to be doing this right now with the indexing issue? And hey, by the way, I just am looking. We got 26 people on the stream and we only have 9 thumbs up. So hit the like button and let's blast this out to see if we can get more people on. I'm sure somebody's going to jump in soon with a thumbs down. I cannot wait. But yeah, go over there and hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, hammer that so we can tell YouTube that this is a good party to be at and more people might jump in. I so far haven't seen Adrian, who's back at work yet. Stuart has a new baby, so I don't expect to see him. But it'd be cool to see if we can get more people. Oh, there's my thumbs down. I know it was one of you guys. There's 14. Let's see if we can get it to 20. That would be cool. If you haven't hit it, let's get 5 more and let's get us to 20. 16. Yeah, no, back to Carl. He's really throwing all in on it, and I respect the hustle so much. Hey, Alex, WP Eagle is here. We have a celebrity. Alex is dropping in. Hey, what's going on? It would be really fun, actually, Alex, to reconnect with you and talk about doing more interesting content. That idea that I had that we've been talking about for a while, I really do still want to do it, and I just got to find some time. And so let's connect on it and do it. Celebrity, you're funny. I know I'm funny. Funny looking. Anyway, yeah, no, I just respect Carl's hustle and I'm really excited to watch him go. And people say, oh, I don't know if I should do it. I'm nervous about doing it. But if you don't risk big, there's no big wins. There just really isn't. And so I respect that he's going out and doing it, and we'll see what happens. And Pete says, yes, worthwhile, run by marketing CMO himself. Oh, so we're talking about the content for Just Start. This is good information. So Tyler is doing the course content himself, which is really good. 2 by 1 hour sessions, but with a Q&A, slideshows and explanation about ads and Ezoic. So that is exciting. All right. So far the comments are high quality content in the Just Start program. That is good to know. Talking about Carl, I can't keep up with him either, but I know he's dumping a lot of money into this. And so you say, oh, well, it comes down to how much your time or money. And I definitely can't keep up with time, and I'm not ready to put in the money, but like I said, I support him and I can't wait to see it go places. Parveen says, I just got my AdSense approved in the pandemic. Yeah, no, I'm curious when we are seeing our messages from AdSense about how that they aren't doing anything because of the pandemic. Does that mean that they won't be responding soon, or it might take a long time, or they're just not reviewing sites? Could somebody confirm the message they got, that they're just not reviewing sites, or they're just telling you that it's going to take a long time? Yeah, I'm curious to see how much he's invested in content too. I have a feeling that he's going to be pretty upfront about the money that he put in at some point. And so I'm kind of just waiting to see how that turns out. Oh, and about Just Start, he says that there is a quiz that you have to take, which requires a 75% pass rate. So they want to make sure that you're actually consuming the course content. Minimal assistance planned due to lower traffic new customers. Ring fence from Ezoic sign-on webinars to get you past the hand-holding stage. Yeah, the reason they're running this is because they want to see about what they can do to offer Ezoic to more folks who don't have a lot of traffic. And so they're basically learning from each of these sort of beta tests to get people through. And so I'm excited. Brittany says, that's good to know. Matt says, I should have thought about Google taking a cut. I was hoping my super chats would inspire others to do the same. I have a hard time asking for super chats, and not because Google takes it, but because I feel like I get so much value, and that's really not why I'm here. Like, I don't live stream really to make money directly from folks, but I guess there's nothing about this YouTube channel where I really try to make money from folks. And at some point, I guess I'm going to need to, because I have kids to put through college. But I will definitely let you know about switching the newsletter to, I'm going to take a look at the percentages because I want to make sure that the least amount of money goes to the administrative body that takes the money. And so I'll take a look at Patreon and also just run the numbers and I'll let you know. Let's see, Alex. Oh, and about the just start. He says if you pass, so you apply for Google AdX approval. If approved, you can set up and show ads for real. So that is regardless of whether or not you have AdSense, just through AdSense directly approved. Yeah, let's chat. Oh no, it's my arch nemesis. Oh, his audio went AWOL last night in the stream. What happened? I would love to mock Alex, and I'm sure he would love to be mocked, but I don't know what happened to his eagle, to his audio. Laura said, your site cannot be approved. Oh, this is talking about AdSense, what they're sending out now. It says, your site cannot be approved at this moment. And then if it says some services temporarily available due to COVID-19. All right. Well, that's good to know. And I guess the only solution is to go in and reapply again. Oh, Alex with a $20 super chat. Woo! Now what do I do? Like I need like a sound effect and I don't have any sound effects. Oh my God. I don't even have my, this is like the low budget sound effect. Alex, you are really too kind. Like seriously. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you do. That is awesome. This super chat. I don't know what you're doing. Stop. 20 pounds. So that's way more than $20. That's what? That's closer to 20, what, $26? Is that what it is? 26 American, US. Let's see. He says his audio goes bad in every stream. Well, it's because you're trying to use too much technology. If you just do what I do and try nothing, then you won't have any problems whatsoever. I do have a bicycle horn. I actually took one away from my kids the other day, but I don't want to run away from the stream because I have to go dig it out of the toy box. Let's see. Pete says, AdSense, I got a message about refusal to accept and didn't refer to COVID. Okay. Jesse says, does Matt work for you? He does not. He does not. Matt is just awesome on his own. Let's see. I'm like trying to keep up with what's going on here. Matt with another $21. You know what? Georgetown University costs a lot more than that, Matt. So $26.23. So right on with the conversion. I was actually really close about the conversion. I guess $26. Let's see. Yeah, just a fan. I know. Let's see. Mike says that he spends $25,000 on articles for a new site. And I love how serious you are. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I think that's great. I just don't know that everybody has the ability to do that. But yeah, I mean, there are other folks that are big in this niche who are doing that. I think Professor Ron dumped between 15 and 20 grand into one of his sites that he was talking about in the last year that he just started from scratch. So it's not uncommon for people to put in a lot of money, like $1,000, $2,000 a month over time. I don't think many people just write a $25,000 check like all at once, but I do think it's common for people to invest thousands over time into a brand new site. Let's see, talking about Ezoic, Inspiration was their largest publishers today, are some of the smallest ones a year ago. So that was the reasoning. And so there you go, directly from the horse's mouth through Pete. And he says, no, AdX is totally separate. It doesn't need AdSense. So I guess for folks who can't get approved through AdSense, keeping an eye out for the next round of the Just Start program, assuming that you can get approved for AdX, could be a great way to go. Alex says he's got to go, bathe the kids, speak soon. Yes, please. Let's do that. My face is just naturally red. That's what I have to say about it. It's just naturally red. I know, right? 25 grand, but there are people who are putting a lot of money into their sites, and I love it. I think it's awesome. I'm going to check my list really quick again because I'm working through it slowly and I've been here for an hour and I haven't gotten through everything. Oh, I did want to point out for accountability for myself, because I said this a couple streams ago, that I was going back over to Skillshare because I wanted to make that a $1,000 a month income stream, just like all the rest of my little things. And I'm happy to report that I did manage to finally, and if Denise is here, and I missed Denise saying hi because Denise has talked about wanting to do more on Skillshare. But Denise, if you are watching this or hearing this, I did finally get another course up and I'm going to work on another one today. I want to get on schedule of recording and posting over there once a month. And I just wanted to report again that I did better than last month. So, by only $50, but $50, $50. So assuming that I keep working, that this will be an ever increasing income stream. And if you don't know what Skillshare is, there's a link in the description for 2 months free. So you can try it out. Let's see. Mike says that we are cash rich, and I think that's a great way to put your cash to work for you. Instead of spending it on cars or Lamborghinis or mansions, put it into an asset that will actually earn you that money back. It must be nice. It would be nice if I was that cash rich. I am not. Web Money School says, first time here. I'm signing out. I said, thank you for dropping in and for contributing so meaningfully, and I look forward to having you back. That was awesome. Alex, I thought you were gone. He said he published a video today on my spend $8,000 on a site. All right. Well, after this video, I'm definitely going to go over there and watch that because I really want to hear and see how that played out and what you spent your money on. Uh-oh. Audio usually fine. The Eagle had to abandon a planned site review. How funny. Let's see. So Chris is saying that the $8,000 for the new site was very similar. All right, so that's good to know. Folks who are really serious about this are spending between $5 and $10 grand on content, and I assume for all the stuff. Brittany says she's out. No worries. Thank you for dropping in. An hour is plenty of time. Regarding Ezoic, the same standards are applied. So if you can't pass Ezoic, the site won't pass the Ezoic site review or Google AdX. However, AdX has no minimums, age, content, etc. Denise says, yep, she's here. Thanks for mentioning Skillshare. And, I definitely have to say that I wish I could take down some of my old courses on Skillshare, but I feel like the new ones that I'm putting out, because I've spent so much time on YouTube lately, I'm just definitely getting better, and I am looking forward to creating better content. Jesse says he spent about $3,000. I assume this is on content last month for your sites. What else do I have on my list? I wanted to touch on briefly about the site that I added to Ezoic. And you might remember either last week or the week before, I disclosed that I thought that I had killed the site by adding Ezoic to it, because after I added Ezoic to it, all the traffic disappeared. And then I remembered after I freaked out that I had changed the theme and not replaced the Google Analytics tag. So I just wanted to do a quick report because people ask me all the time, if I put a site on Ezoic, is Google going to tank it or destroy it? So this site was getting about 40 to 50 users per day, and it's a 3-year-old site. So it's not very big and doesn't get a ton of traffic or content. But since adding Ezoic to it, putting a new theme on it, so I put it on Generate Press, and reinstalling the Google Analytics tag, it is now getting 60 to 70 users per day. So was it the new theme? I don't know. Was it Ezoic? I don't know. This is my problem because I'm constantly making multiple changes at a time. And so it's really hard for me to trace back and say that one or the others of these things was the problem, was like, or the solution, right? Like changing one of these things made it better. So do I know for sure that changing the theme is the reason that the site is doing better, or Ezoic? I have no idea. But what I can definitely confirm, and again, because I get asked this question all the time, the site did not get destroyed and did not go down to zero, or did not even seem to lose traffic as a result of adding Ezoic ads, which undoubtedly has changed the metrics as far as speed. We know that adding ads of any kind to the site will definitely impact speed, but that's just the data that I see. It's not to promote Ezoic or anything else. It's just people ask me, If I put Ezoic on my site, is it going to destroy my site? I put Ezoic on the site and it's not destroyed. All right, that being there. Jesse's confirming that the $3,000 a month he spent recently was on content. Chris says, Ezoic smart. Mediavine should not have increased their entry requirements. The earlier they catch publishers, the more they can make across the lifetime of their customer sites. I mean, maybe, but maybe they're having a really hard time serving the customers that they already have. And maybe that's just what they needed to do. I don't know. There's something to be said about making things exclusive that make people, really want to get in there more than others. And maybe they're trying to go head to head stronger with AdThrive. Maybe they're trying to take more of AdThrive's base and trying to get the bigger sites. And maybe that's their business strategy. We'll see how it plays out in the future. Denise says, do you use Screencast-O-Matic? And I will say that I do. I absolutely do. I use it to record my screen share tutorials when I want to have my little face in the corner. And I want to be able to move the pointer around and show where things are. I am using Filmora now more often than not. And so instead of putting my face in the corner, like the most recent tutorial that I did over on Skillshare, I didn't use my face at all because I was having a bad hair day and I didn't want to go through the effort of getting ready to make this stuff. It turns out I didn't need my face for this one. It seems to be getting some traffic and some watched minutes. And I just did it all with Filmora, just putting the slides in there and then using Filmora to just do the voiceover for it. But yeah, I use Screencast-O-Matic because it's cheap and it's really easy to use. It's like $18 a year for the basic version of it. Jesse says that Mediavine was getting overwhelmed and I don't think they have the infrastructure to handle so many applicants. 50,000 sucks, but yeah, it does. But people who are serious about this, if they're serious about getting to 25,000, they will get to 50, in my opinion. Parveen says that my earnings dropped due to pandemic. Do I switch my site to Ezoic now? That's hard to say. I don't know if Ezoic will improve your earnings or not. I don't know where you are coming from. Are you coming from straight AdSense? Are you coming from some other ad network? I don't know. It depends on your niche. And it depends upon so many things. But the only thing I say is that it can't hurt to find out. And unless you're using an ad network, I think like AdThrive, like you can't take a site to them and then take it back and then come back. I think once you leave, like you're out. But I tell people to test it and then make up their own mind. You could test Ezoic and then find out if it works for you. And if it doesn't, then go back to AdSense. That's what I would suggest. Matt says, I'm still bitter about being denied by Ezoic. I know. And if you were like pat you on the head, like, poor thing. He's bitter because he wants to get into Mediavine. They like organic traffic that is more dependable. Yeah, it's true, but still. What does he use instead? Well, we know that he tried Sortable and that didn't work well at all. Mediavine denied me too. Oh yeah, I got denied by Mediavine last year on one of my sites. I feel like it's a badge of honor, just like getting denied by ad networks. AdSense and Taboola. A $3 RPM with both combined, plus I run private ads. Let's see, I don't get anywhere near your volume, but my RPM is about $25 to $30. There is more than one way to make this work. There is more than one way to make this work. All right, so as I'm getting down to the end of this, let's see, I'm checking all the boxes. Like, did I finish? Oh, for the podcast, this is the last thing I wanted to mention. I've started using Calendly because one of the challenges that I've been finding lately is just I'm having a hard time getting podcast guests and people here on the channel because of the amount of time that it takes to cold email someone or cold contact someone or to cold outreach to someone and then to go back and forth and doing the arranging and setting up the schedules. And so I finally made the jump and I'm using the free version of Calendly, and it allows you to set up your calendar and also a setup and like a self-scheduler. So you can put the time slots on there and then just send that link to people. So people say they're interested and I say, great, schedule yourself. And so that has been, I can't even tell you how much of a lifesaver that has been in the last 2 or 3 days. I've got a whole bunch of interviews scheduled that I'm planning to do in the next month, and I didn't basically have to almost talk to hardly any of them to get them scheduled. They're on the calendar, it's blocked off, so I don't have to go and do it. It's done automatically. So if you're someone who is looking to do more interviews, or you're growing your podcast and you're having a tough time with the amount of outreach and just the admin tasks, I really recommend something like Calendly. No, I'm not an affiliate. Nobody paid me to say that. I'm actually using it myself, and I just am so thrilled about how it is going. Finally, I wanted to give a shout out to, and I'm going to butcher this name, but he's a guy named Brendan Brendan Kumarasamy. He is a YouTuber, and his channel is called Master Talk. And he is a guy who did an interview with me a couple days ago. We just matched to talk about speaking and making better YouTube videos and just stuff that I'm super interested in. And I just wanted to give him a shout out for basically being one of the best and most interesting guests that I've had. Not because so much of what he had to say, but because he just was so interesting, and he just like I was able to challenge him, and he challenged me right back, and it was really, really, really fun to talk to him. And so I just wanted to take a moment to shout out his channel. If you're looking at getting better at public speaking, making and talking in YouTube videos, or just being more comfortable in front of people or in front of the camera, I just really had a great time talking to him. And he's this 24-year-old guy who has a full-time job and is doing all the things that we're doing, which is working really hard to turn his side hustle into his main hustle. And I'm going to have his podcast, and I probably will put it up here on YouTube if people are interested in it. I'm looking down at my notes, in the next couple of weeks, but I wanted to tease that. It just is one of those interviews where there were a lot of like fireworks going, and you could tell he was, I don't want to say surprised, but he's like, wow, he just kept saying, wow, this is really interesting. Wow, this is really different. Wow, this doesn't happen very often in podcasts. This is really good. Like, it was really funny to talk to someone who just was so thrilled to have a really interesting conversation. And so I'm excited to be able to provide that content to you folks in the near future. So I think I got through just about everything. I talked about content refined. That was the one thing I really wanted to talk about. I talked about the just start stuff. I talked about all kinds of other stuff. Anyway, folks, we've been on for, let's see, an hour and 15. I want to check really quick to see if there are any other questions, because otherwise I'm going to head out and let everybody get to work. Let's see, Matt's talking about his RPMs. Well, with 450,000, all of the traffic that you had with a $40 RPM, I think you could probably buy your Lambo and start living the rest of your life. Rohit's asking, are you getting that kind of RPM with Mediavine, or is it a high RPM broad niche like finance or law? Home and garden. All right, folks, as always, thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for everybody who jumped on today and made this stream so enjoyable. I look forward to talking to you guys next week on Wednesday. And remember, on August 19th, Fix is coming to talk with us on the channel here and to do the live stream with us. So put that on your calendars. All right, folks, thank you so much. And we will talk to you next week on Wednesday.